Hey guys, so as promised, I said I was going to start to use the greatsword, and the plan is that I want to do at least 100 hours of dueling and stick to a weapon set. That was what I promised. And so I started off using the greatsword. The first thing I wanted to do was to just find out what weapon I wanted to pair it with. And so originally what I was doing was I was fighting with greatsword and sword and shield. And the reason I liked the sword and shield is because, well, the reason I don't like the great axe is because it has no stun. So it's great for chasing opponents down, but it doesn't really have anything to stun them. And it doesn't really have anything defensive, like if you need... Well, I guess it has a charge to get away. But I feel like the sword board complements the greatsword a little bit better, because it provides stuns and it provides a bit of mobility, both of which you can use offensively and defensively. So at the start, I was trying... And the goal was I wanted to play a bruiser. And so my initial idea was I'd play sword and shield paired with the greatsword, and I would use medium armor with shirking fortification on it. So I'm going to take you through the first few days of my sort of evolution of thinking around it. And you know, don't take these duels too seriously, because obviously I'm still trying to learn the weapons that I show you, so I'm not going to be like showing any pro moves. But definitely I see significant improvements. So after a while I got a little frustrated with the sword and shield. I kept missing my charges, and I just wanted to try out the spear, which I have never actually played before. My weapon score on my spear is 14, so that shows you how I've never really played it. But the spear kind of, on the face value, did the same thing. It offered a lot of CC, and it's got like nice long reach, but its CCs are kind of easier to land a little bit. So I thought I would try the spear, and I actually fell in love with it. And the more I played it, the more I liked it as the secondary weapon. So it became pretty obvious from very early on that I was definitely going to be pairing the spear with the greatsword. After doing some OPRs and doing some duels that you can see here with my duo partner Leos, I'm only showing the ones I won actually. Like, he beat me just as much as I beat him, so I should sort of say that. And I'm still trying to learn the weapon, so I know that I'm probably doing everything wrong. I mean, my spear's 14, guys, so give me a break, you know. But after doing some OPRs and doing some duels with Leos, it became really obvious that light armor was going to be better. There's just so much damage in OPRs now with all the changes with the latest patch that unless you're in a team, you know, and you've got some heals, I just don't think Bruiser's going to cut it, especially with the lack of mobility. Light armor, even with the nerfs, gives you that mobility, and as a solo player like myself, it's just, I just don't think you can survive without it. So I quickly decided that I wasn't going to be playing Bruiser so much. I was going to be playing a more high DPS kind of glass cannon light armor with greatsword and spear. Just see in these, and you can just see in these clips here just how effective light armor is at closing the gap on, you know, like ranged players, which you just can't do in medium. So yeah, I feel like light armor just really stands out with the mobility. So I've kind of given up on the idea of playing a bruiser, especially with the high damage. I just don't think it's going to work. And yeah, quickly. So it basically was light armor, greatsword, and spear. So in the OPRs, because I was wearing light armor, you are super squishy. And so I was really, just had to really focus in quite hard on really using line of sight to make sure to shelter you from that damage. So more than I ever have before, I started moving towards being really sneaky, really cowardly, and using line of sight. But it just so happens that being a coward and being sneaky is Karma Chameleon's forte. The problem is, by this stage, I was now no longer a bruiser and no longer using medium armor, and so I was just so in love with the spear. Like, I was starting to use the spear far more than I was using the greatsword, and I started liking that mobility and the kind of dexterous life, the sneakiness, the cowardice. And so I started to pair I thought I'd try to pair the hatchet with the spear to see how that went, and then it was like, oh, this is the build I have been looking for. So yeah, this has kind of become my staple. The light armor, spear and hatchet. I've just been really addicted to it, and I just love, yeah, the sneakiness, the mobility. It really suits me. This isn't at all surprising, really. If you had been following my channel, or if you looked at some of my earlier videos, you'll see that for like 2 or 3 years, I played a Nightblade, which is their assassin, you know, highly mobile, definitely cowardly, and definitely sneaky class. It's their assassin class. And I played that for 2 or 3 years, and ironically, Leos played a Sork, which was their sort of ranged mobile class. And so somehow we find ourselves gravitated back to that same kind of setup where he's on the bow with that kind of range mobility, and I have somehow find my way back to the ESO Nightblade, which is, you know, that assassin style of play with spear and hatchet. So here we are, gang.
Ghost do I have?
So at first it was pretty rough. Obviously I need to learn how to play this, having never played it before. I can definitely tell the play style is for me. Can't believe I haven't played this. Like, I just can't believe. I don't know why, considering this is what I played, but yeah, I definitely need to get better. I lost a lot of my early melee fights, but as I started dueling more and more, I noticed that what I need to do is be very evasive and kind of dodge around the side of them a lot more, which you'll sort of see here eventually. I've got Rogue on my hatchet, so it makes sense to get behind them anyway, but just because I'm in light armor, I can't really trade with them, so you'll see a good example here of me doing it. So here I come in, and then you'll see, like, I hit him on the side, dodge behind him, hit him on the side again, bit of lag there in the game, dodge behind him, and then hit him, well, I hit him with the, I dodge into him and then hit him again with the spear. So that was day 1, and then on day 2 I was dueling, and a very kind man showed me the combo that I needed to learn. Social distance, dodge roll into the skewer. And that's like a really, really effective combo to start your attack. So just show that again, social distance, dodge roll, and then skewer. You've really got to get the timing of the dodge roll though in order to move forward. You can see me use it really well here fighting my teammate Leos. I do the social distance, dodge forward, get him into a skewer, and then I stun him with my sweep, and then I go into a perforate. And so that was like the full combo right there. It's a lot of damage, and now he's going to be taking a lot of bleed damage. Then I just go over to my hatchet and try to finish him off as best I can. Went into OPR with these new tactics and having dueled a little bit, and oh man, it was so much fun. And I've become quite addicted to using prone now. I've even keybound it to a key that I can use it really easily, because I love sneaking up on people and just like killing them. It's just so good. It's like I've found stealth back. It's actually pretty amazing how you can prone right in front of people and it's almost like they don't see you. Like this case right here, he didn't even see that I was in prone there, so you can get some really, really good sneak attacks off. Here's another example. I'm just going to, of us just like trying to sneak up on people. I don't know, I know it's a little bit stupid, but like it's got pretty addictive for a while, so it was just hilarious. It was just so much, it was just so funny. And we've also been having the beginnings of some good kind of like fights in OPR. I've actually only got some of this video, but it ended up being a lot more people that we were fighting, but this is at least the start of it. So yeah, these was like some good fights, and they just kept coming down into the bush and fighting us, so it was like really, really fun. So I just feel like I'm having a lot more fun fights with the mobility, with the high burst.
Oh my God,
yeah, it's just, it almost feels like we've got that. I mean, me and Leo spent 2 or 3 years playing Sork and Nightblades and ESO, and I just feel like we've got that old dynamic back, which we really enjoyed. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, just I had like 18 kills in one OPR, which was higher than what I normally get on my bruisers. So yeah, just this definitely is going to be my new weapon set. So by day 3, I had got my spear up to rank 20 or level 20, and so it's obviously, you can see there that it was hitting a lot harder, and so that was really, really good. And then the big question came between whether we should use Zephyr Cakes or Battle Bread. I like both of them. They're both really, really good, but at least use one of them in OPR because it makes such a huge difference. This video, I'm actually not trying to attack any of them. I'm just trying to break down the respawn site. But I think I've got Zephyr Cakes here. It might have been Battle Bread, but I'm really just putting this video on high speed to show you how like kitey I am. Like they just can't catch me even though they're trying to. So it just shows the immense kiteability and survivability with that extra speed you get from the Zephyr Cakes. I also really like Battle Bread because it increases the amount of damage you do and it also increases your tankiness, so in some respects you can give up a bit of the mobility because you take a bit more of a hit. So I guess one of my future videos I might actually compare the two and see which one I do better, because at the moment I'm very undecided. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt that you need to be using one of them in OPR or you are silly. I'm still having problems against range players, especially bows, but also mages. I was fighting Solace, who's like the mage expert, and we had so many fights, and this is typically how it went right here, where he just absolutely destroyed me. So just trying to figure that out. I'm slowly getting better at it. But after this fight, he said, you know, that I spend too much time running around and I should just try to get right on top of him and stick on top of him. And so that's what I tried in this duel, and it actually really worked. This was our last duel too, so it's quite a good way to end it. But yeah, so that's kind of the strategies I'm working on right now. It's just being more sticky and staying on my opponent. One of my other favourite things, which I also used to really like doing in ESO, was getting a whole bunch of people to chase you, and then stretching them out, and then running them around like a little corner somewhere, and then just turning around and absolutely decimating them. So a good example of that's here. I'll get this guy chasing after me, just gets single target focus too much, gets too hungry for the kill, and then able to finish him off really quickly, which is what I very much enjoy, as you can see here from my little reaction. But then, yeah, I managed to pull another one out, so they just keep following me around the corner, and as long as they're going to keep following me, I'll keep trying to fight them. But yeah, at the moment, I can only fight like 1 or 2 people at a time, while I get better at dueling on it, and get a little bit more used to that sort of light armor assassin playstyle. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm doing right now, is just trying to sneak up on 1 or 2 people, or get them to chase after me and then turn on them. But yeah, it's so much fun, loving the playstyle. So I would say that the 100 hours of dueling is going to not be so much greatsword, but more that kind of assassin playstyle at the moment. Spear and Hatchet seems to be doing the trick very nicely. So that is what I'll be focusing on. Thank you everyone, see you later.